You are now listening to Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell, the voice for the people. Join Richie alongside co-host property damage attorney Hans Kennon as they bring light to the taboo world of big insurance companies, exposing their tactics and fighting for justice. Hear stories from contractors across the state. Contractor Talk, here to protect homeowners and uncover the truth.
All right, welcome to the show, Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell, every Monday night right here on 94.9 FM, 950 on the AM dial, The Answer, and you'll find us a few days later on streaming anywhere you like to stream, from iTunes, Spotify. That's where my favorite way of listening is, on Spotify. But if you like to put a face to a voice, then you can check us out on YouTube. We do have our own YouTube page. Like us, subscribe us there, or subscribe us so you don't miss an episode. At any given time when you not see the same outfit on this guy right here, Hans Kennon, board-certified attorney here and in-house counsel for the show, as he fixes some of the things that I may have an opinion on. What's going on, Hans?
How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I understand, sometimes you'll search the word world news, but looking for news about yourself, I think that's a nice way to do that.
I do that.
Well, what's Richie Kidwell doing today? Let me see. Look. No, things are going fine. End of the year's coming. We're trying to wrap up some cases for some folks, try to get some things done. We're moving my office. We got a lot of positive things going on. Just
moving on up.
Absolutely. Much better space for less money. How often does that happen?
Oh, that rarely happens.
Rarely happens. So hopefully that's actually going to happen.
It's your Christmas gift.
That's what I'm hoping. No, things have been good. It's been still relatively quiet on the legislative side. Not a lot going on out there yet. Every year, you start to say, what else could they possibly do to screw the consumers in the state of Florida? And you think, I can't think of anything else. And then something like this mediation bill comes out.
Right.
Where this guy puts forth a bill that says everything should go to mediation. Well, it already...
Everything. And the insured must show up in person.
Right. I mean, so there's already a plan in place that we use thousands of times a year that actually does the trick, actually works, actually is a decent program by DFS. He wants to now make it where, like I said, you have to show up, and the insured right now does not have to pay for mediation. The insurance company pays for it, which it's fair. They have a dispute. This guy wants them to just pay the split or pay the cost of it. I mean, and I stopped and I go, how can you take something that actually works pretty well and actually make it worse?
It's easy. They hate consumers.
What I can't ever figure out is obviously you go to a little booth and there's this thing you fill out. It's called a ballot, right? Mm-hmm. And you circle little things on it,
right?
And then you hand it in, and then people get jobs from that, and then they go in and they take away your rights. They take away your ability to recover under your insurance policy, make you pay for the privilege of going to mediation with the state of Florida, and people just go, "Oh, it's terrible."
And we have a candidate that was on the show before, Frank College, that has been on our show before. So check us out on a prior show. You'll be able to check through Spotify and search for his name, Frank College, with an I in there. It's College with an I. Anyways, so but he is running for CFO on the Republican ticket, and he's going to be running in the primary against the guy that's in there now with the weird last name. Was it Yurdzinski or something?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know either.
Anyways, all right. So, yeah. But anyways, against the guy that came in now, that was, I guess, appointed as Jimmy Petronas moved up to Congress.
Yes.
And so he is the
acting.
There we go. Acting CFO, which oversees the Office of Insurance Regulation, which really doesn't do anything right now. But he is the boss of that department and Department of Financial Services over the adjusters, the 620 licensed adjusters, so the independent adjusters and the public adjusters and the Office of Insurance Regulation. Well, that's a big seat, especially in the world of insurance, which we live in, whether it be auto insurance, property insurance, all of that nature. And so this is a big seat, and it's very important. And as we've seen, if you have somebody with zero experience and all their money comes from insurance, like $3.5 million was raised by Jimmy Petronas, right, and $20,000 from us. Anyway, but maybe if it was just a little bit more. No, I mean, you can tell that was exactly what he did in exchange for that $3.5 million is whatever the insurance lobby wanted him to do.
Well, it's kind of like he goes, when he gets a check, he goes, now what exactly do you want me to do? And wait, give me a second, I'll make some notes. Okay, screw consumers. take away rights, raise premiums, no premium reduction. Anything else? Anything else on the list?
Years back, his one of the consumer advocates, I may or may not be right on this, but I know somebody, whether it was Sharon James or the consumer advocate after that or whichever, either way, left their seat due to just not having anything to do to help consumers. It's just so bad in the pendulum over towards the insurance side of things. It's just so not fair for the consumer. And I do hope to see somebody like Frank College come into as a CFO, somebody that wants things just to be fair. You know, and I don't want, and I'm not asking for the pendulum to swing the other way, you know, and be like, we need revenge. It's like, no, it really just needs to be fair. Right in the middle.
I find it's a lot like doing jury work, doing jury trials. Well, really all you want is somebody's fair. I mean, that really is, at the end of the day, the truth is what you're looking for is someone to give you a fair shake. And what we found with the legislature and all these administrative offices is they simply don't give the consumer a fair shake. It's simply just, this is what we're going to allow you to do or not allow you to do. And again, we've always talked about over the years, for all the bills that have been passed that have provided relief to the insurance company, the two words that never appear are?
Rate reduction.
There we go. Those two words, doesn't matter how much you give them, how much you save them, nothing requires the insurer to do anything actually for the consumer. And again, you have to learn to vote at the ballot box and vote for people who are not going to continue to take away your rights. Your premiums go up not because of an abuse of claims; it's because of an abuse of premium.
That's right. That's right. Well, really, what happened, and we called it. We saw it a year or two before the quote unquote, and I'm doing the air quotes, the fake crisis of the insurance market. And be like, we have to increase all these rates. It was David Altmaier, who was the head of OIR, who was just rubber stamping and creating this mess of giving anybody. He was like Oprah up there. You get a raise, you get one, you get one. Even though that, even some insurance companies didn't even ask for a rate increase. Some have put in 14.9% because you can't put in more than 15% unless you have a public hearing. But he waived all that and allowed people to get 50, 60, 100% increases, only to create that chaos of the newspapers of saying, these folks raised their rates so much. Tower Hill was quoted as saying, I put in for a smaller and they gave me 50%. I didn't want it, we didn't need it, but we took it. Right. I mean, it's just things that, like, you scratch your head and you're like, and we saw it like in slow motion go right in front of us, you know, and like Adele in a black room. It's just like, hello, and it was just like nothing. Right. And so what we saw is that slow motion caption actually coming to life. And then the newspaper articles coming out that there's a crisis and that the insurance companies are just leaving Florida and they can't take it and going out of business and all that.
And we learned obviously from November of 2022 when they literally OIR had a report that said this was truly, honest to God, like this isn't just Richie and I talking, a real report that said they're just giving all their money to subsidiaries so they don't have enough money to pay claims. They go in and ask for a rate increase for that. And the thing is, the premium's gotten so high. It's hard to go back, right? I mean, no matter what, even if it's unfair, it's hard to say to the insurance companies, look, cut your premiums in half, go back to how it was, stop giving money to your subsidiaries, stop stealing from people. Right.
And I haven't seen any legislation being proposed so far for that. I mean, we know that all of this is there. We know that 15 insurance companies denied more than 50% of all the claims from the two past hurricanes last year, from Helene and Milton. And then we come out with all those articles about them paying the right hand more than the left hand, and because you can only make 5% as an insurance company in the state of Florida a profit. The rest of it, you're supposed to pay claims. It's like, just pay your claims, bro, is not a fake thing. If that's a real thing, they need to pay their claims. But what do? They don't pay claims. They get people scared to file a claim at all. And while they have to pay, the state of Florida makes you have to pay insurance if you have a mortgage, right? And so and if not, they'll force place you insurance with double the price that you're already paying now, and less coverage.
Much less coverage. So
what do we see now? We see that there are some bills that have been sponsored. And
you saw the one where this whole DOA thing we talk about with citizens, Division of Administrative Hearings. There's a bill proposed that would send all insurance cases to Department of Administrative Hearings.
I mean, if it doesn't work right now, why insist that everybody does it? I mean, we know what the S show that it's created. Right,
it's just super bad. And the fact that we have one judge in the appellate panel so far that says it's unconstitutional like torpedoes be damned type of thing. Well, let's do it. Let's make everybody have to go.
Right.
Because somehow that'll make something unconstitutional into something constitutional.
That's been DeSantis' whole motto. Is like, that's not legal. Okay, cool. Let me just make somebody, push it through legislation so it is. Like he did with running for president before. In 2018, they had the law that changes, says if you're running for president and you're a governor, you have to step down. Then all of a sudden, he had his cronies go back and change it silently without many people knowing.
And actually, when that was determined that they'd actually changed the law, they only put into effect in 2018. Who was the Speaker of the House, whose name is going to see if it's not Pasadoma, was on the Senate on the House side. Renner
Yep.
actually was quoted as saying, "It's such a privilege to have our governor run for president. We're going to take that statute away because we're just so pleased this punch that he's actually going to go do it."
So much brown on his nose.
It's terrible.
Shameful. And so hopefully he makes some Congress move or something out of this. I don't know. Anyways, but this year they're looking like they're going to be sponsoring, and we'll see how it goes, Senate Bill 128 about roof inspections. This is going to bring in our guest tonight to talk about this, and we were talking about this before the show with Derrick here with Certified Best Roofing is here tonight on our show. What's going on, Derrick?
Not much going on tonight. I'm glad to be here talking to you guys, though.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad you're here. And this is a big topic that's been going around. It's talking about, every year, during our shows, we talk about this, and we've had the show on for a long time, and I've been an advocate since 2014, so I've seen the ups and downs of this, the Florida legislature and the rules and the different changes in the laws. And the boogeyman that the insurance lobby loves to point at as the reason or excuse of why they got to raise premiums every year. Before it was the restoration contractors. That's why I founded the Restoration Association of Florida. And we were tired of being pointed at and saying, we're the reason why insurance premiums are going up. And then when they made the law change in 2019, House Bill 7065, that put rules around the AOB, then they're like scratching their heads. They're like, okay, well, that's not the problem anymore. And so they're like, okay, well, it's roofers.
Right.
It's roofers.
We were
it's definitely
villainized.
Roofers.
Yep.
Exactly. So the
contractor
finger was pointed at you guys
and the
in 2020.
roofer. Yeah, we were definitely villainized at that moment, and it was a game changer for us. And it was hard to convince customers otherwise sometimes, It really changed the way we did our business completely. And I know it affected our whole industry.
Right.
Really did.
There's solicitation rules that only roofers have to go through in the sale of a roof, where insurance proceeds were payable only. Not if it was retail, which is weird. It's like only where insurance proceeds are payable.
And they tried to go further than that. They tried to say that we weren't allowed to put storm damage repair or that type of wording, that we can follow a storm on our trucks and our advertising. And of course, that's our freedom of speech.
Was a big thing. The claim denied thing.
Some roofers in Tampa sued Tallahassee and got that removed.
Yeah, that was the gale force.
That's right.
Right. And then, that was an interesting one. And and so that was what we've seen after that is roof surface schedules and such like that our team at the Restoration Association of Florida actually got involved with, and so did FJA and several others that were really helping to push to get rid of that, and with all of that outside pressure and consumers and everyone finding this information on that it never made it through committee, but the insurance company sure took on it, right? Heritage and others came out with this roof surface thing, and it's not constitutional,
right? And
so this year, Senate Bill 128 has been sponsored. Now we have every year session changes when it starts in the first Tuesday of January, and then the next year March, and January, March, January. So this year it'll be January is when it started. So already bills are being filed, already committees are meeting. And they'll do so. They'll trickle in from now until January, where it'll really take on. But Senate Bill 128 about roof inspections requires insurers to notify homeowners of their right to an inspection before non-renewing a policy due to the age of a roof.
Now, I was just going to say, that's a Senate bill, which, unless there's something else to it that I don't recall, that's pretty impressive coming from the Senate. Normally you'd see that on the House side. And it'd be easier to find a House sponsor to join that than it would be on the Senate side.
My only fear is what it's going to look like on the other side and all the strike-throughs, because once we get past the secret session, everything good about it might be strike-through. So it'd be interesting to see how it works out for the consumer.
But that was what happened to us last year, though, on the Senate side, is that we had a good bill to reinstate attorney's fees, which went through the House, made it to the floor. and the Senate simply would not pick it up at all. So
Not at all.
So at least to have something come up on the Senate, at least as a start, that isn't immediately negative. Is that moment of that glimmer of hope we try to make.
That's going to be tough because the same committee members are there in the same seat as they were last year.
Yep.
So you still have Pasadomo, which is the previous Senate president, who was the chair of rules, which this bill has to go through. So if she sends a message to everybody and says, listen, don't even bother, I'm not even going to hear the bill, don't even send it. So they won't.
They won't get as much pressure this session from lobbyists. You got to think about that. So once we get closer to election timelines, more lobbyists will come in with more money pressure, and that's when that will lean in.
Well, the problem is that it's the insurance lobby that comes in, and they're always doing their job. Now, and that's striking through all the good stuff. Now, it goes further on to say, if the inspection shows the roof has 5+ years of useful life, the insurer would be required to reimburse the homeowner for the inspection and presumably limits non-renewal on that basis.
I like that, because right now we're getting customers that are receiving cancellation letters at the 14-year mark, 15-year mark, and we're seeing shingles going to landfill that still have 5 years left. So if I have a chance to speak up for the consumer to say, let's leave it on the roof for another 5 years, then we should. Then they can come up with a plan to pay for it.
I mean, think about your tires, right? I mean, they have 60,000 miles or whatever it is. And imagine if you got to like 40,000 miles and then, they're like, you know what? You need to replace your tires. And you're like, well,
I don't want
to. There's nothing wrong with my tires. It says I got another 20,000 miles. I'm going to roll these out another 20,000 miles. Yeah. And it's going to be fine.
But imagine the government stepping in to tell you have to replace your tires.
The auto insurer, Geico calls you and goes, the Lizard calls and goose, hey, man, you got to get new tires.
Oh, man, I have a weak spot for the Lizard.
What do you get? Let me have to get new tires. Yeah, you need new tires.
Yeah.
My tires are fine.
We probably should stop saying this. They're getting ideas about tires and automotive coverage.
We're going to drop your auto insurance unless you buy new tires.
Well, that actually came from the insurers. I mean, the messaging over the past couple of years was like about the maintenance. Like we shouldn't pay for your maintenance, right? I always have a counter to that too. I mean, if the cause of the loss is from that hailstorm, that windstorm or whichever, no matter what the age of the roof is, that's the cause of the loss.
That's right.
Not, this weekend that did this. It's like, no, the cause of the loss is this specifically. Right. And so we now are seeing them bifurcate now how much. It's like, well, it was like 12 years old and we had this much, so we're going to give you this much.
And the thing is, that's so crazy. I mean, if you have a good adjuster, and we still do, and I had a conversation with a guy last week where the roof was like 25 or 27. I mean, it was really, really old. And instead of saying, well, it's wear and tear, the guy looked up and he said, we insured it, man. And it was that kind of intellectual honesty. Because he's right. I mean, because
many times we say no post-loss underwriting now, dude.
Right.
You took the money for it, you insured it, you have to pay it. You can't say now, we shouldn't have insured it. It's old age or wear and tear.
Right.
No.
So that's why you get guys who know that's the truth, and it's what you just said. Whatever the cause of loss is, it's not wear and tear. It's some event that occurs.
Right.
And at that moment, then you get to say, well, look, you insured it. Grant Rennie, as was well known to say on the stand, sir, what was the condition of the roof on the day of the loss? Insurable.
Perfect statement.
I mean, and that's the truth. And until you made a claim, that roof was 100% insurable.
Right. And now all of a sudden, and now that should go in their underwriting. And what the insurance companies have started to do, I think there was a bill that was presented several years back that said that every 3 years, like it's up to the insurance companies to check on their asset, whether or not that they want to continue to insure it. Like they should pay for the inspection or reimburse the homeowner. But you know what they're doing? They're making us go out and get the 4-point. Oh, you want to save money? Cool. Go get a 4-point inspection and a wind mitt. No, B, you go get that. Like
right.
you're the one that's going to insure it.
Well, right. I mean, we've had a conversation before too. Is that although it might be hard on some homeowners, what really should happen is that they should be an obligation of inspection, and then and if they do the inspection, then the insurer cannot go back and say wear and tear, kind of like the roof inspection.
Yeah, so
tell me up front. Yeah, tell me up front. I'm not going to insure it because it looks like trash. Yeah. Cool. Tell me that, and I'll go somewhere else, or I'll fix it.
Yeah. So in the insurance industry, that would be loss prevention. So if they developed a better loss prevention for the state, where they know they don't have to look at every roof, but you're right, they could at least pay for that and have a set price that they will pay for that
Well,
inspection.
think about all the drone companies now that are out there that are doing this stuff, and that, me as an engineering firm are consuming this, are buying these things to where you can see the condition of the roof. They can zoom into a booger on the roof from a drone image, and they can do it like every 3 months or whatever like that. It's like, dude, like, why aren't insurers at least doing that, or doing their own type of investigation on that?
There's no money in it.
Right.
They're better off taking your premium every month and hoping you don't make a claim. You sell the house, you
much
die.
easier to raise rates.
Right. And as opposed to doing that and giving people a fair shot at, like you said, either replacing the roof, finding a new carrier, doing repairs. Just take the money, man, and be quiet. Like laying in wait, just hoping they sell the house, they die, something happens, cancel the policy, find a new policy, and they got all that money without having to prove anything.
Right. I mean, even with AI nowadays, and don't I know what AI can do with photos, videos, and such like that of damaged, or just of your building envelope to identify possible damage, that kind of such. If they insure, if you're talking about an insurance company, you say, okay, we're going to insure this geographic area, right? You have to give, coverage to these whole counties or widespread areas, right? I mean, you take a little bit of your $1 million a week paycheck for, like they're getting over at Slide between a homeboy and his wife.
Lucas.
Right. You take a little bit of that $1 million a week salary, and you pay somebody to drone over everything, so you see what your assets are doing every couple of months, right? I mean, that's how you decide on if you're going to do it. I mean, think outside the box, but instead they put it back on the consumer to say, well, if you want to save some money, send us a detailed report and you pay for it. Now, with bills that are supported now, and like you mentioned, Hans, there's one that says that we now have to go, if it were to go through, if there's a dispute on property insurance, we'd have to go to this binding mediation.
You mean the double kangaroo court?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
the mediation one.
Right. Yeah. There's one, not only that, but then there's the mediation one where it's like, yeah, you and then you have to pay for it. And so, as you know, mediation rarely goes anywhere. Rarely do they offer up any good money. They tell you how much you have in your coverage, but then they have $500. That's all I have offered for today. So it's usually an impasse, a waste of everybody's time. And that's really just a check to see if somebody actually wants it.
It's a chilling effect. Right. What can we do to make it inconvenient and unaffordable to the regular consumer?
Right. Most people don't want to be deposed. They don't want to even have a recorded statement, for crying out loud. I mean, but then to think about, now I have to go to this mediation, take the time out of my day. And then you want me to pay for it?
In person, if that's actually going to be required. I mean, and honestly, everything's done by Zoom these days. It's a rare day. I occasionally have in-person depositions or in-person mediation. Typically, it's all done virtually. There's no problem with that. But if you make that a condition of mediation, is you have to go to some mediator's office in somewhere, wherever that may be. That's and that also set back time frames, because I did mediation this morning with a mediator from Fort Lauderdale. Well, if it had to be in person, that means I got to find a guy within 5 miles of my client's house, or and so all that's just.
And that's what this one says. Senate Bill 108. And House Bill 341, resolution of disputed property insurance claims. This bill would require parties in a property insurance dispute to participate in mediation before litigation can commence. It mandates that the insured or their representative must physically attend the mediation. So that means you would then, if you were my representative, so you would attend the mediation physically.
And no ability to recoup my attorney time to do so because of all these changes in the statutes also. I don't get to put that on a timesheet, and if I go back and sue them, go, hey, don't forget when you maybe jump through the hoops and go to this mediation.
So, Hans, can I ask you, wouldn't typically it would end up in mediation anyways? I mean,
that's
what is the formality of this, then putting it into the bill?
Well, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, the system already exists and it works. So again, this is a new crisis as well. We're not getting together before. We're not exchanging ideas. The system is in place. The system works. That literally has no merit and no necessity in the current under the current DFS structure.
Right. I don't know if, and a lot of times these early bills may not make the distance. They get some headlines and such like that, and they end up dying in committee. So we'll see. And we'll continue to update you guys on the show as we do every year, as we get into session time and see what has a possibility of actually getting legs and making it all the way to maybe get vetoed or maybe get passed by the governor. We'll see. But hang on out. We're going to take a break, give some thanks to our sponsors. We'll be right back. Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell. All right, and we're back after the break. Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell, 94.9 FM, 950 on the AM dial. And yes, if you're listening to streaming, we are on live radio, and we cut over to actual commercials. And some of the kids were saying, like, what is this radio thing? It's like, yeah, man. I mean, you can actually call in and you can heckle us, ask questions, all kinds of fun stuff.
You can use that device that used to be a phone.
Right.
And you can just text people instead. Yeah, it has a function in it that you can actually make calls on that device.
You can. You can actually dial this number on Monday night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., 407-774-8255. Again, that's 407-774-8255. We're in the Central Florida area, so if you're around this general vicinity and you live here full time, check us out. Every Monday night, we're live on the radio, so I know it's a little bit different. People are like, what the heck? I'd just rather listen to him streaming. If that's the case, just stick with us here on streaming and no commercials. I think we just skip right on. So every time I come back, they're probably like, why is this guy re-announcing? What is this? Anyways, for our streamers out there, I'll keep it light on the commercial breaks.
Which is why we try to not have to say, don't touch that dial.
That's right. I'm like, what dial? Yeah, the pause button anyway, on your Walkman. But on the show, we always have great guests for you, and just a different way or different perspective and professionalism that we don't have here on the show. No, but we've talked about yourself. Speak for yourself. We've talked about this. The drywall guy, the plumber. There's certain things that I think that I can do and I really cannot do. Yeah. And roofing is another thing. I can talk roofing, but man, we definitely need professionals here like yourself to keep the conversation going, and especially as we go into proposed we go into legislative session, and these proposed bills that are coming out, like saying if you have 5 years of life left, then you can't be non-renewed. They must keep your policy of insurance. You are insurable, at that point. Is that something you guys are going to get into, or kind of get into?
So
now?
I'm already doing roof certification. So anytime someone needs to kind of push back and they want to send that 4-point, the wind mitt, they can also ask us for a roof certification where we'll look at the age of the roof, pull the last permit, see how much life. We'll do a full inspection, of course, check all the boxes to make sure it's actually good. Yeah. And of course, if we find something, we'll give you a good estimate to take care of what it is. So when we go to insurance, we give them the best picture there is.
No, with the with the manufactured products, I mean, can you go to the manufacturer and will that of that certain product, will that tell you the life expectancy? And will it tell you here in the Central Florida area specifically?
I don't know of any resources to do that, but I just know from working over time that we had some brands went through a bad season where we know where that kind of hit and where those defects are coming, degranulation was happening. So if we notice, hey, this is that brand and this is normal for that shingle, it might be time for a re-roof. And I don't want to put my name on something that's not going to last 5 years. If it's going to last 5 years, I would say that you probably get 7 years out of it.
Right. A little bit conservative on that. You want to make sure that there's like no granules left on your
right. If it's 10 roof. Years overdue, I just tell you straight up, it's time for a new roof.
Like bald tires.
Yeah, it gets bad. We've seen some bad ones. It does look like bald tires. Just looking at the bitumen, and that's it, or that fiberglass. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, wow, one minor storm is going to just take that out.
Right. And then I'm talking to the homeowner that already has 8 estimates in their hands, and I'm like, you might want to make a decision sometime soon.
Well, I always tell people when I talk about what they should do, and I say the first thing you should wonder is there's nothing more expensive than a cheap roof. Right. So you guys come by and are willing to do it for numbers, and they'll call me and I'll go, he said X, and I'll go, I'm not sure if he's been like saran wrap as underlayment on your roof. Yeah. People go, oh, it was super cheap, and I'm like, this roof is probably next to the home itself is the second most expensive thing you'll ever do to it. You buy a house, costs you a few $100,000. Next thing, the most expensive thing other than some tragedy they have to do as maintenance is a roof. Right. And it's the only thing that keeps you and the weather apart. Yeah. So I was like, if you want to say, I'm going to save $1,000, think long and hard before you do that, because I love the quote of tar paper, or felt as it's known. Yep. And that stuff, you can blow your nose in it and it'll go right through. Yeah. And people still sell people things that have tar paper.
Yeah, I've seen it. It still is on the shelves, and I still see guys fill the bed of their trucks with tar paper.
I mean, and that's what breaks down. I remember we had a leak at our old house, and they took up some of the tile, and this it's been a long time, but the tar paper literally was like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You pull your hands out, and it's like the sand is.
I call it mulch.
Right,
so when we strip
man.
those roofs, we're taking it off in shovel loads. It's coming down like mulch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So underlayment wise, what would you recommend to somebody?
So under tile, you want to go with a one that's made a felt faced, high temp, nice thick rubberized underlayment, which is what the standard is.
Right, and then for shingle, what is the standard for?
So
that
I'm a big guy with synthetic. I know a lot of guys are starting to push peel and stick, granulated, which that is ice and water. There's a use
I
for
like
ice
peel
and
and
stick.
stick. What's wrong with peel and stick?
I'll tell you, you can't service it, you can't come back to it, and when I have to re-roof over it, I can't see your plywood. I can't get it off. It's adding 2, sometimes 3 days for us to strip it down. And if we cover it up, it's considered a roof over, and you can only roof over once. So the next guy is going to have to put new plywood.
And the peel and stick aspect, my understanding is it's so sticky that if you have OSB or even plywood, it'll literally tear the sheets apart.
It could, yeah. Right. Sometimes the newer it is, it typically come off. But if it's old, it becomes part of the plywood, and it's just like tar paper. So over time, that bitumen's going to dry out and get brittle. So as you walk across that plywood, you get those tears, just like you do in tar paper. You get that on peel and stick as well. I know a lot of people love it. A lot of roofers are probably kicking their radio right now, but I'm not about it.
So how is the synthetic different? I'm always curious. I always like to learn when we do these.
So all the shingle manufacturers sell a synthetic in their name, whether they're making it or not. And it's just like, a tarp with the plastic that's designed to handle the heat.
Tyvek. I would use the word Tyvek myself.
Yeah. Tyvek is similar. Tyvek has small fibers to it, and it's a vapor barrier, where underlayment is, the best I can describe, is like a tarp. So it's like a felt face tarp, so that we don't slip off.
And it's waterproof too.
Absolutely,
has to be, in Florida, it has to be
right.
Even though we're still in Florida,
and right now we're doing 2 layers of that. So it's
I was going to ask you that.
A code change for that.
Yeah,
I remember.
which I don't agree on, because now we put twice as many nail holes to hold it down per code, kind of defeating the waterproofing part. But that's what they're asking.
It's like, what are those nails?
It's a lot of holes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you either have 2 layers of synthetic or 1 layer of peel and stick.
Yeah. So you can do 1 layer of deck tape, which I think is a waste of time and money. So you can do deck tape and 1 layer of synthetic, or go 2 layers synthetic. So it's 2 layers of waterproofing.
So I guess if anyone's listening and thinking about buying a roof, these are the kind of questions we hope we try to answer for folks. So when you go home, and you look at your 10 roof estimates you have, and one's really cheap.
Right.
Ideally, it should identify itself as telling you what's going on under the shingle, because what goes under is just as important as what goes on top.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, and sometimes a sales guy, and too, the owners know too, you can knock out a roof in a day with peel and stick, because it goes down so fast. You can literally run with the roll as another guy's running behind, pulling that plastic off. Right. So you can get it ready for dry-in inspection the same day. So there you have a 1-day roof. But it's not going to save you in the long run. There's no benefit to doing peel and stick. None.
Now, Derrick, and again, thank you for being on the show tonight and bringing your knowledge here. What would you say your company's like bread and butter is here in the Central Florida area?
So our bread and butter is residential re-roofs, and as a lot of companies chase insurance work, and their whole business model is built on that. And they're probably the ones that are feeling the change the most now that we're getting so much law change and nobody's buying roofs. Insurance companies don't pay for your roofs anymore. So.
Yeah. Maybe your shingle roof, but man, it's a fight for your tile roof for sure.
Tile's uphill.
Yep. So we do tile, we do metal, we do shingle, but we do retail re-roofing.
You do
believe it or not.
Okay. I couldn't help it.
Yes.
So now can you? Because now many people were after hurricanes, they were told and sold on this idea of like you need a metal roof because it's like it's better resistant for hurricanes. And then I was like, who wants a dumb looking metal roof? It just looks like
Key West.
Yeah, well, it looks dumb, right? But but now they tin roof. But now now they have different materials that actually look like maybe a tile roof, but it's made out of a metal. How do you feel about that?
So
kind
the
of
marketing on them is great. It sounds like a great concept because now we're putting this metal up there. But a lot of times, if you look at the wind rating is actually the same as shingles, but you're paying more than a traditional metal roof. So what are you gaining in the long runs? You're not gaining much. Yeah. You're spending a lot of out of pocket, but you're not gaining a lot of stuff.
Sure, it's going to look good from the street.
Yeah, it does look real nice, but I've done a bunch of them estimate wise, but only a couple of installs, because once people see the price, they walk away from it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm saddened to hear you don't like metal roofs. They look so stupid, but a lot of people like them, and it's actually my favorite roofing system because we're not throwing all that in the landfill. We can recycle it, and they last way longer than shingles.
Like standing seam type?
Standing seam and now rib panels. So now they've changed the industry again with the coatings that are on the, so even a Galvalume finish, they're putting a 40-year warranty on the finish. So they're really stepping up their game.
I saw around the lake, I live off of Lake Brantley, and a lot of the roofs now are black, out of these black metal roofs.
Right.
I think it's got to be like cooking eggs up there. It's got to be hot.
So
gotta be hot.
Believe it or not, any dark shingle's hot, but heat transfers through any roofing that's going to happen anyway. So really, hot's going to come from insulations. So you can put a thermal barrier under the metal to stop some of that, but no matter what roof you have, heat's going to transfer through it, unless you have, like an ISO board on, TPO commercial roof.
Right. Now, would you say you would get longer life expectancy on a metal roof other than a tile roof?
Right. Yeah. Just because the underlayment. So, and the other thing with tile, now that the underlayment's getting more sophisticated, the weakness in on tile now is metal. So most of the valley metal that you get is still an old school Galvalume with no acrylic coating, and it's rated at 25 years. So you're typically, the metal's going to wear out before the underlayment, before the tiles give out.
No, sorry, I wanted to keep talking about this, and like tell me about the maintenance cost, metal versus keeping up a tile roof.
So tile, you're looking at pressure washing, somebody that knows how to clean a roof. You can do chemical wash on that. Metal is also chemical, but you're using simple green instead of the harsher chemicals that are like bleach, because bleach has salt in it. So once I
guess, what about the rubber grommets? I mean, how often do you have to check those in the fasteners?
So that's another thing, depending on your roofer. So you could get really cheap screws that are going to wear out in 10, 15 years, or you can get expensive screws that have a cap over the EPDM washer, protecting that rubber from the elements. So it's all about your roofer, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely want, right. Definitely want that.
It all goes back to it's nothing more expensive than a cheap roof.
That's right.
And for you get free estimates?
Absolutely.
How do they get a hold of you?
So they can go to our website, certifiedbestroofing.com. They can call us at 407-602-3363. We got someone answering the phone all the time.
Awesome. And what's your website?
I just gave it certifiedroofing.com.
Boom.
No problem. There it is again.
Love it. I wanted to make sure. That was so fast. I was like, we still have 15 seconds.
I ran it off. Yeah.
Certifiedroofing.com. No,
certifiedbestroofing.com.
There it is. Boom. Certifiedbestroofing.com. Love it. All right. So we're going to take a break, get some thanks to our sponsors. We are sponsored by the Restoration Association of Florida, raflorida.org. I'll tell you about what we have happening next week. We'll be right back. All right. We're back live on Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell every Monday night right here, 94.9 FM, 950 on the AM dial. And, of course, over to you in a few days on any streaming way that you like to listen on Spotify, iTunes, or any other type of streaming. And, of course, on our YouTube page. Like us, subscribe us there. And again, we are sponsored by the Restoration Association of Florida, raflorida.org. Check us out, what we have going on. We do have an events page on there. We also have our social media page. Like us, subscribe us there, the Restoration Association of Florida. We talk about how to become a member if you're a contractor and or a consumer that is looking to have more, to know a little bit more. Obviously, the vehicle for us to bring this Contractor Talk to the consumers through our shows here. So YouTube is a great way to consume that information. But if you're a contractor and you want to know what's going on, check out our next event. It is in the Clearwater area, and it's next Monday, the 8th, December the 8th. And it's a lunch and learn, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So great information that we go over contractor to contractor about what's going on in today's world. Legislation, both contract, the way we contract today, and how we work in power teams with public adjusters, attorneys, roofers, restoration folks to ensure that the homeowner is put first, paid quickly, and the claim resolves in a quick manner. And sorry, Hans, before it gets to somebody like you.
Correct.
But unfortunately, unfortunate for you, are the what we've already seen are these articles of the last two hurricanes. I mean, crying out loud, 15 insurance companies denied more than 50% of all claims filed. And we know that at that point in time, Citizens had over 1 million policyholders during that time. And they were at the top of the list of 77% of all claims. So out of 1 million people, how many of those people lived in the Southwest or in the West area of Florida that got devastated, filed a claim, and then they're like, we're not going to pay you. Or they do their whole citizens things like, we adjusted your claim and everything. And it's like, we believe you have damage.
Right.
Hans, we're going to pay you. Ooh, but it's just the payment is just the damages are just slightly under your deductible.
Yeah, a lot of that. What we found over time is that when the insurers, citizens being the exception of that, because since they're owned by the state and have no oversight and no bad faith and no fees attached or any of those things, they can kind of do what they want. But for most insurers, people get upset when a claim gets denied. You get a letter in the mail and they say, we're paying you, we're nothing. You will get nothing. So people that kind of stirred ire in people. So I think they went to some focus group psychologist guy who said, what can we do to make people accepting of not getting paid? Beyond that, he said, well, don't deny it. Just get almost there. Get just below, or even pay him a $5. Get here, talk up to 1,000. We came to 1,005. Here's some money, because then they'll believe you actually tried to give them a fair shake. Denial just feels denial. No, I'm calling a lawyer. But they tried. And they always say, our commitment to you is to try to find coverage for your loss. And we found it. And we did. And, and you're covered and that kind of thing. And so they did it just under deductible, just over deductible. Kin has the roof schedule that we talked about, where every year your roof goes down in value as far as reimbursement goes if it's damaged. So you get a letter from Kin. I got a client.
Do the premium prices change at all? Do they diminish as well?
No, oddly enough, they do not. They do not.
Really? It's interesting.
But with them, what they'll do is they'll send you a letter that says, congratulations, we're covering your roof. So people were like, yay. And your roof was 15 years old. And so we estimate it costs us $20,000. You're like, okay, we're going the right direction. And because of the roof schedule, we're going to give you like $5,000. Again, people are like just incensed by the fact they get a congratulations letter. We're covering your roof. We're going to pay pursuant to the policy. And you're like, all right. It's all lining up, baby.
It's so weird. I mean, you're a lawyer. I mean, and I can read. I read English, and I can read the 626 statutes. And it says on there that in part of that, it says that when you buy an HO3 policy as a policyholder, then I get replacement cost value.
Correct.
So how is Ken getting away with that?
Well, like many things, it requires, and I'll put myself in that group, it requires the right case with the right client.
So should I get Ken insurance?
But then you have to have a loss, and you have to have an old roof, kind of the facts line up. And the problem is, when you say to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, look, Ken is literally stealing money from you because an HO3 policy requires replacement cost. They're literally not paying you replacement cost. They're literally saying, we're going to replace your roof, but at this amount. That's not replacement cost.
No.
And you say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if you want to be the test case, and you and I'll become fast friends over the next couple of years, we'll go litigate this out, and the risk some judge says it's okay, and you may get a fee judgment against you. But putting all that aside, how about you want to do that? And people just go, Mr. Kennon, why
I'll
would
just
I do
shop
that?
new insurance. How about that? but they get away with it because they can lower the price on that. So of course people are. I mean, I even get a postcard at my house. Hey, Ken Insurance, of course. I mean, if you're unknowing of that, right? Then you will get it just based off of price. You know what? I just need to get insurance. I hope I never have to use it. That's cheap. Boom. And that's what they're relying on, that you'll just pay it. It's cheap, whatever. It's cheaper than others in the market, is because they diminish the coverage that they're going to pay you. It's like people's distrust. I mean, they're like, we're not going to pay you at all. We're just going to force you to use our preferred pretender, and we're going to maybe put your house back together. I don't know.
Right.
But you said something interesting there that made me think about, you're talking about the end game, but a lot of people feel like they're uninsurable because the feedback they're getting from trying to get policies is they feel uninsurable. So there is no policy for me. So once they get letters like that, they're like, well, this is the easy way out for a cheap price.
I mean, and both Hans and I had to, when we were shopping insurance, the claim filing deadline is 12 months. So I believe almost every year you should be shopping new insurance. And we both were getting rate hiked, so we both went and got a wind mitigation, a 4-point inspection, and then I got a lower price with an insurance company because we had to do the legwork. We had to pay it up front. Right. We didn't get reimbursed for that. I mean, in a way, we got lower insurance rates, whatever. But it was like, we had to search for that. It wasn't given.
No one came knocking.
Right.
Right, and you guys know. You're informed. So imagine the people that can't afford a wind mint, and they have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
That's the average everyday person.
Or know what it is. I mean, when you talk something about a wind mint, do you have a home inspection? Yes. All right, I'll bite. Which one? The one the insurance company asked for? Is that the wind mint? I don't know. Was it the 4-point? I'm not really sure. Right. I mean, that kind of. I mean, they really don't know what they paid for, what they get, or what they got to submit.
Send me what you got. But yeah, I mean, and this is our message to you, consumers that are listening, is that it's not only should you shop insurance companies, you should shop agencies. We had an insurance agent on here, and he said, yeah, at one point I had like 50 carriers. Now they're down to about 20. And they're one of the larger agencies. Most insurance companies don't want you to also sell other products from other insurance companies. They want you to almost be,
captive.
Yeah, and just be exclusive, and that's not good for the consumer, because I go to an agent, I think they're shopping me everywhere, and they're like, I've got 2 for you, and I'm like, really, that's it too? And so you do have to shop agencies as well. So don't feel bad, on going around and shopping agencies to get the best price. Believe it or not, the Office of Insurance Regulation has a website and a feature there that you can click on there and find insurance companies in your zip code. And you can start there, dialing for dollars on that. I know that's time consuming. The other way to do it is have the agents work for you. Contact 3 to 5 agencies and have them shop their line of insurance. If you go to just like a State Farm, they're just going to give you State Farm, So you go to like Brightway, who we had on the show, and they'll give you like 20 different ones, and then you go to a different one. Right, yeah. Right.
So Derrick, as far as roof inspections go, I know you guys do those for free for folks who have a concern. Yeah. We're talking about shopping insurance every year to make sure you're getting the best deal in a good position. And again, I'm not trying to give you more running around to do, but how often should someone call someone like yourself? Every other year, every year?
No.
And
we recommend roof inspections every year and after every major storm. So once something passes through, give us a call. If you don't have a hole in your roof, if a branch didn't fall through, we're not going to come right out, but you're going to be in line. And we're going to get to you. Come take a look at it.
I was afraid that Derrick's going to be like,
awesome.
Stop telling people to call me all the time.
No, call us. That's what we like to do, because what we can do is we can get to the house and we can do a photo documentation of the whole thing, look over the whole roof, provide that to you. We'll keep a copy. So the next time you call me, it doesn't matter what technician I send. They know what it looked like last year. They can see the progression of age. They can see if the trees are getting lower, if they're rubbing that area. See how the granulation in the gutters, if it's getting worse or if it stayed the same.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
So what I did is when I bought my house, they put a new roof on it right before I bought it, and then every year I just have that same company come out and do a roof inspection and then tell me if I need any repairs. A couple $100 to repair this tile or whatever, or tighten these up or whatever. Right. Is that something that you guys do as well?
Yeah. So that for us, we want to build a relationship. I don't care if I'm working for free or not. I want to be your guy. So you're going to go get your suit tailored. You know who you're going to go to, right?
Right.
I want to be that with your roofing. So if I can't build that relationship by offering that free inspection, then what am I? I'm just looking to sell you a roof. That's not what we're here to do. So roofing is not just replacing roofs and selling roofs. It's about taking care of the person's roof and being able to climb up there when they shouldn't.
Right. Now do you guys do you have in-house repair crews?
Yeah. So we have sub crews and in-house. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, because especially that's where I was going with that. If you have like say a 7-year-old roof like mine, I have 7 or 8 years old, you want it to live the full elasticity. I have the guys come out every single year, and so you're saying that as well too. It's just so I can have a longer life expectancy and have photo documentation, but. Every year it's like between maybe $200 and $800, and they go around and they tighten stuff up and caulk stuff up, repaint some stuff if they have to put some mortar somewhere or whatever. I find that is a great value, and so if somebody was wanting to do that, I know we said your number one time kind of quick, okay. but I'd love for you to tell us how to get a hold of you, especially right now. We just got out of storm season, so now's a good time to get your roof inspected.
Absolutely. The best time to work on his roof is when it's not raining. So it's 407-602-3363, or you can find us on our website. It's certifiedbestroofing.com.
That's awesome, man, and that's great advice. I mean, I didn't know it was every year, or that you guys would come out every year.
Yeah, I was a little like I said, they want to suddenly put a whole bunch of work on your plate.
Yeah. And I always tell people too, you don't want the guys that go around. Another thing I want to mention, we don't do any door knocking. We've never been a door knocking company. We're not solicitors like that. But you don't want those guys that come to your house begging to get on your roof, looking for hail damage with their little stick of chalk. Don't let them get up there because they don't know what to even step on. I've been on so many roofs where I see a guy step on a ridge vent or step on an off-ridge vent or stand in the valley. These are the areas that you don't want to walk on because you're going to destroy what's underneath. We were talking about that earlier.
Right.
So let us come out and do it because really, we're knowledgeable. We know what we're doing, and we're going to tell you positive feedback that's going to help you as opposed to just sell your roof.
And those guys door knocking and such, they get up on your roof. Those are mostly sales guys,
of course.
So they're not licensed, certified roofers like.
And I'll tell you, our sales staff is so knowledgeable that they've all been in the industry a long time. So when we send a salesperson, I feel like whatever feedback they give me, I can just write the scope of work based on that. So even if we send you a sales type person, they definitely know what they're doing. They've been trained. They've been in the industry a long time. They're not just some. I don't want to just say what they are. Not a short-term worker that's knocking on doors. How about that?
Right.
Switching between solar, used cars, and roofing sales. We don't have any of those.
Well, the best way, and I think most people do it this way, is they'll check you out online. They'll go to your website. They'll check out your reviews, check out your Google reviews, and then they'll make a best decision based off of that. And I think if you go to certifiedbestroofing.com.
Please look at our reviews. We've been on a lot of effort into making sure customers are happy, and that's where that shows.
That's great. Derrick, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And Hans, like always, man, you're the man. Thank you for being on the show. How do we get a hold of you in case we need you in a dispute?
Very good. My cell phone, 407-782-0258, 407-782-0258.
In case you have a dispute, that's where to go. And thanks again for listening to our show. Again, we're sponsored by the Restoration Association of Florida, raflorida.org. See you guys next week. See you.